"You're sleeping in the garage tonight," she said, standing in the doorway like a judge delivering a sentence. No smirk, no laughter, just the sharp click of her tongue as she added, "My real boyfriend is coming over." I didn't argue, didn't ask who, didn't even blink. I grabbed my keys, wallet, and jacket, left the ring on the counter beside her wine glass. The garage door closed behind me with a sound that felt final. The night outside was heavy, the kind that presses on your chest and waits for you to break. Didn't. At 3:04 a.m., I checked into a roadside hotel. Stale air, humming neon sign, the smell of detergent, and loneliness. I set my phone face down. Silence. Then it started vibrating over and over. 47 missed calls. Her name flashed like an alarm. Then a text. "Please come back. He saw your photo. He Googled your name and left." Who the hell are you? I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I smiled. The quiet kind. The one that doesn't reach the eyes. She finally asked the right question. It wasn't sudden. Betrayal rarely is. It's a slow leak. You don't notice until you're standing in a flood. For months, she'd been distant. Longer. Showers, late meetings, the usual. Clichés dressed as modern excuses. Played along, listened, nodded, waited. The first time she called me boring, I almost believed her. But boredom doesn't buy you a house, fund your vacations, or cover your lies. She wanted danger, something wild, unpredictable. Funny thing, she never wondered if I could be that. She assumed my silence meant weakness. Didn't. It meant calculation. So when she pushed me out to the garage that night, she thought she'd humiliated me. She didn't know that every word, every look, every secret she whispered to her real boyfriend had already passed through me. First, I wasn't sleeping in the garage. I was waiting for the show to start. We'd met 7 years earlier at a law seminar in Boston. She was all laughter and sharp edges, the kind of woman who could cut you open and make you thank her for it. I was quieter, the observer. In the corner, the one who noticed too much. She said she loved that about me. My calm, my focus. I should have known what she really loved. Control. 2 years into marriage, her father's company went under. I helped her rebuild. Legally, financially, emotionally. Every document, every contract, every rescue had my fingerprints on it. She thanked me once, then forgot. Somewhere along the way, she mistook my loyalty for limitation. She thought the man who fixed her life was too gentle to ruin. That's the thing about people like her. They only recognize power when it's loud. Mine never was. So yes, the night she told me to sleep in the garage, something broke. But it wasn't my heart. It was the lock I'd kept on everything I knew. The discovery came 3 months before. That night, a stray email, a slip. He signed it. See, I read it twice, not for the words, but for the arrogance. He thought he was clever, using her office email hidden under client correspondence. I traced him easily. His name was Conrad Hale, a man with a record dressed up as charm. Fraud. Charges sealed. A trail of bankrupt partners. Women too. I watched their affair unfold through encrypted backups she never knew existed. Photos, hotel receipts, notes, every click, every whisper archived. But I didn't confront her. No, that would have given her the drama she craved. Instead, I learned him, his style, his weakness, his lies. And then I made sure he learned me. Carefully curated online footprint. Articles published under my name. Credentials that weren't lies, just rearranged truths. Enough to make anyone curious. Enough to make a con artist nervous. So when she showed him my photo, that night he Googled it. And what he found wasn't me. It was the man I wanted him to see. The transformation wasn't physical. It was patience sharpened into precision. While she spent nights whispering to her lover, I spent mine writing code, rerouting data, altering search results, planting stories, articles about Michael Vance, federal asset investigator, interviews with a former intelligence analyst, now consulting on financial crimes, a few staged press photos, edited backgrounds. The web did the rest. Within weeks, my ghost reputation was alive. Search me, and you'd find a man with government clearance, one who'd exposed corruption, rings, and brought down fraudulent executives. Conrad Hale was a fraudster, a man whose entire life depended on not being seen. So when he looked me up, when he realized the man sleeping in the garage was supposedly a federal investigator, panic wasn't optional. Meanwhile, I cleaned house quietly. Every asset under her name had my signature beneath it. Every document she ignored had clauses she never read. So when she laughed that night, she was standing in a house I legally owned, funded by accounts I controlled, under a roof registered to a trust she didn't know existed. Revenge doesn't need noise. It needs paperwork. He ran. Of course he did. 2:51 a.m. he stormed out of her house, leaving his overnight bag and pride behind. She called. He didn't answer. By 3:04 I was checking into the hotel. 3:17 her first call came through. Then the text, the panic. She finally realized the man she tried to humiliate was the one holding every card. I waited until sunrise. Then I drove home. She was sitting on the porch, in his jacket, eyes red, mascara smeared. When she saw me, she ran to me. Instinct, not love. Please, she said. He thought you were. I know who he thought I was. My voice was calm, almost kind. Michael, what did you do? Nothing you didn't deserve. I handed her an envelope. Inside, the property transfer, the financial statements, and the divorce papers, signed, sealed, time-stamped weeks ago. Her hands trembled. You planned this? No, I said. You did. I just finished it. When she opened the last page, she saw the clause. All marital assets revert to the primary investor upon breach of trust. Her signature was already there. She looked at me like she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her. Good. She never did. By noon, I was gone. The house was quiet again. Her call stopped. Somewhere around 48. Funny number, 48. 47. Calls begging me back. The 48th was silence. Acceptance. I didn't block her. Didn't need to. People like her haunt themselves better than anyone else could. A week later, the house went on the market. She left town. Conrad never resurfaced. Last I checked, he'd vanished overseas, leaving debts and questions behind. Sometimes at night I scroll through the old photos, not out of regret, just remembrance. Every scar deserves to be remembered, if only as proof you survived it. I still sleep, well, better than I ever did in that house, better than I did in that marriage. She once told me I was too quiet, too patient, too controlled. She was right. That's how I win. And now, every time I see her name buried deep in some social feed or forgotten post, I think of that night. Her text, her panic, her words. He saw your photo and left. Who the hell are you? I know the answer now. I'm the man you shouldn't have underestimated.